Hi everybody, it's Maida and I'm back with another time-lapse video. So this one took me probably 8.5 hours. All of my video feed together was 7.5, but there are some things that I left out, like the start of this sketch, and then I also made a couple more tweaks after I stopped recording. So this is a concept that I had in mind for about 2.5 or 3 weeks. Wait, what day is it? Maybe about a month now. I'm not sure. I was inspired, like, during a fight that I had with my boyfriend. It wasn't like a big fight, but it was like a discussion that was making me really sad. But anyways, so my original concept was actually to have like a Snow Queen type person and I don't know, kind of like a knight or someone with like reddish hair. But let's see, as I worked through the concept, because I sketched it on my doodle pad and also in my notebook, between the both like 3 or 4 separate times, because I wanted to get, I don't know, I wanted to make sure that I liked the idea and that I had, I don't know, a clear vision of what I wanted. Clearly I did not, though, because it took 7.5 or 8.5 hours to make it anyway. But so the, I guess, kind of story behind this is that I don't know, I kind of like to leave that part vague in my drawings because I try to make sure that the poses say a lot more, especially in my newer works. But the idea was for them to be in kind of a fight. No, it was supposed to be for the guy, like, I don't want to say begging, but asking her to come back or to stay with him, something like that. And she has to say no because being together hurts her too much. And that's where I was like, instead of fire and ice, I think it'd be cooler to be more like a sun and a moon type deal. And you'll see that I did add moon type symbols on her headband. And also I wanted to, when I had the idea of it, I was like, because I wanted them to be in a cave at first, and I was like, and I thought there was going to be a lantern for some interesting light source. But as I thought about it, I was like, no, I don't want to do too much. So instead I decided, wait, but it'd be so cool if I made this guy have a light source. And, or if I made the guy glowing. And that came after I decided, you know, instead of the moon lady being completely pale, like I've seen other moon ladies or other Snow Queen people, I decided, you know what, I want to make her skin black, because I don't want these people to be, I don't want this scene to be especially, like, I don't know, human-ish, I guess. I wanted it to be more supernatural-ish looking. So that's where the inspiration for the color comes in to play. And you'll see more of that later. I'm just kind of rambling right now to fill up the time. But, so in the original sketches, the guy's pose pretty much stays the same. But when I first did this, I actually had a more portraiture, stiff idea of how the girl was standing. She was actually going to be just standing up straight and looking away, still with her hand being held, probably the other hand though, so it didn't look quite as strange, or something like that. But I had gotten two critiques saying that, my people look pretty stiff. And I can't deny that. They do look pretty stiff. And I tried really hard to not make them look stiff in this one, which is why I made her pose something more, I don't want to say dynamic because I don't think I did a very good job making it dynamic, but, something less static at least. With her body twisting and her face turning away and her arm reaching. So it's definitely, I don't know, I would say it's more animated than my other work. And yeah. So I chose different colors for the hair and her robe. And that was because I wanted her hair to be more silver and her robe to be more white, which it looks still pretty bluish right here. But that's okay, because I adjust it later. But yeah, so I'm coloring the guy now, and his colors are a lot more saturated and brighter. And that's to, like I said, I wanted him to look more like he was glowing, except for his clothes. I wanted to make sure his skin and hair kind of looked like they were glowing. I definitely put more care into the girl's clothing design than his. But that's because I like girls more in terms of drawing. Yeah, and I didn't want it to be too monotone, so I added some blues over here. And I also want to make her headband part glow, at least the parts with the moons. When the final image shows up, you guys can decide if I was successful in that or not. Whether I was or not, I still think it looks pretty cool. Yeah. So I was hoping by changing the line art, it would make him look brighter. It would aid in making him look brighter. I think it did. But I want to add some shadow on him just so that he didn't look completely flat. Okay. So I do have a bit of a rasp this morning since I'm recording this in the early morning. Apologies. Tried to make it look like the light source was coming from his skin, but again, I didn't use any references, so it's probably not the most accurate. But what I liked was coloring the line art to help emphasize the light sources and whatever. Let's see. That part I was really proud of. I think how I added the light on her skin looks pretty good, even if it might not be accurate. I think it's very pretty. Let's see. I debated putting freckles on her face, but clearly that didn't happen, so it's okay. It's just another detail that might not have added much. So you'll notice she's mostly blue-ish and gray, and her skin is black, but I gave her a red kind of belt ribbon thing. Oh, a red sash. To connect her more to the sun character, since his hair is like bright and orange, but like her sash is a darker red. I explained it to my sister that I wanted to, even though it looks like she's pulling away from him, I added the sash just kind of like to show that there's still that they still have a connection of some sort. That they're lovers, basically. But I don't like to explain that much into it because it's just a standalone illustration, so it's not like there's a huge like backstory between what's happening here. Anyways, I should be heading into the background soon, and that's where I think I took a lot of time because, like I said, at first I wanted them to be in a cave, but after attempting it, I was like, this is weird. And then I looked at what she was wearing and what he was wearing, and I was like, why would they even be in a cave? So after reworking several things, or after reworking that idea, I gave up. Also, as you can see, I tried to paint a sun symbol on his clothing right there, but it looked tacky and it stood out too much against his yellow. So eventually I just erase all of that and keep it green. And then I did make his coat slightly bluer. Only slightly. And then I added some yellowish to the collar so it looked like there was more light coming there. And here's where I tried doing a cave again. Or where I tried it the first time anyway. But don't like it, like I said. And this is me trying to think of something else to do. And I tried that cave, and I still didn't like it. Even though it was like starting to look like something. I didn't think it complemented how, like I said, the moon lady looks. So eventually I just toss it, like. And then I had the idea, maybe I should put her in a throne room or something. I wanted to add, like, so I gave it a marble floor, or I tried to give it a marble floor. And then, after that I was like, well, let's add something in the foreground. So I added a pillar thing in the foreground. And then I was like, I need something else. So I added some tapestries hanging behind them, just to emphasize that this is her place and he's kind of intruding in on it to try and apologize to her, or whatever he's trying to do. Okay, so we're getting close to the end here. Sorry, my microphone fell. Yeah. Getting so close to the end here. Yep, here's where I'm making that pillar. Then I'm making that tapestry. I was gonna make it the dark blue, like that's what's on her, I don't want to say bra piece, but yeah, kind of a bra piece. But then I thought that was too dark and stood out too much, so I used the paler blue on the beads on her headband and the wraps on her arm and thigh. Alright everybody, so here's the final image, and as I stated, I wanted the light source to be the boy, well, his skin, and then in terms of their poses, I wanted to make sure it was more dynamic, especially the girl's pose. So if you guys like this video, go ahead and hit that like button, and if you'd like to see more from me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!